IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with expensive stuff. Did you know that the world's most expensive pizza was sold for 4,200 pounds? Or that in 2011, America alone spent about $61 billion on its pets. Or that the most expensive iPhone cover is for $110,000. Or that you can buy a toothpaste that is worth over $1,000. Now, what is going on here? How is it that these everyday items are so dramatically different? Sometimes so cheap, the way that we use them, and sometimes so expensive. But first, ask yourself, what were you thinking when I was saying these extraordinary prices? Were you thinking, ooh, I want that? Or were you thinking, this is all ridiculous? Or were you thinking, I wish I could have enough money to afford these things? Or were you thinking, look at those stupid rich people? You see, our relationship with the way money is spent tells us a lot about who we are and what our own relationship with money is. We're all brought up with different values towards money. Some of us are brought up with the feeling of scarcity and lack. We hear our parents tell us that money doesn't grow on trees. To which, of course, if you are like me, a smart ass, you would say, yes, money does grow on trees because it's made out of paper and cloth. But that aside, we hear parents saying things like, what do you think I am, an ATM? Or am I made of money? Hearing sentences like this, we grow up thinking that there is never enough money. We keep yearning for more and more, and our relationship with money is skewed. In other families, we grow up seeing money being spent very freely, where money is one's expression of love. Gifts are exchanged, lavish dinners are thrown, everyone seems to be having a gala time. And we then have this belief that money is equal to joy or happiness. Money has to be spent to receive happiness. While in other families, money is not discussed at all. It is a taboo topic. You do not share how much you've earned. You do not share how much you've spent. Nobody knows who's earning how much. Everything is hush-hush. I remember growing up to stories about how my great-grandfather was a builder and a wealthy man. How he would keep giving his money away to his friends who were in need. And they never repaid him back. And he died alone and poor. Or how my grandparents, who had no money because of the great-grandfather, they had to live on water and bread while they were growing up. So all these stories skew our mindset towards what money is. Money becomes something to hoard, or something to spend, or something to run away from. For example, with me, I've always found it strange to ask for money or get paid for helping people. Which is why I think that I undercharge in my private coaching. Or I keep saying, money is not so important, pay me whenever. Or at the same time, growing up with friends who were big industrialists, I feel it's important to create a business. And this is where our relationship with money confuses us. We either live in confusion or learn to gain clarity and focus. We need to create our own principles around money. And there are two books that I highly recommend for this one. One is called The Richest Man in Babylon, and the second one is called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. You see, we need to stop thinking about money just from a numbers perspective or from a way of keeping score, because that is a slippery slope. It will never be enough. Like Jeff Bezos just earned $10 billion in one day. The number by itself is irrelevant. And this is because money has value only when it is used. Used as an investment to make more money, or used as an exchange for something else. If it is used as an investment, then you should be grateful for the money, as it is tirelessly working towards getting you more money. If it is used as an exchange, then it is sacrificing itself for something you are getting, and hence gratitude is important again. Your simple habit for money starts by asking yourself, how do you feel when you spend your money? Every time you buy something online or physically give cash away, how do you feel about it? Did it bring you joy? Did it make you feel guilty? Did you have regret immediately afterwards? or did you feel nothing? This one step will tell us so much about how we treat our money. Next, I want you to say thank you every time you spend that money. I want you to feel the gratitude for it. And importantly, it doesn't matter what you are spending on. To buy shares or buy a bottle of water, feel the gratitude and then say, come back soon. Welcome that money back into your life. Now, I know this might be very, very different from all the practical habits that I've been giving in the past, but understand that our thoughts are habits too. In fact, thoughts are the most common form of habits. So focus on your thinking to change your life. Okay, now after this episode, I'm going to go eat my pizza worth 4,200 pounds. See you. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money and Intel. Before I tell you about some of the shows that we have for you this week, I really wanted to really point out the incredible efforts of our host and our team. We've been able to maintain most of our production schedule in this lockdown, which is going into 4 months now. And I couldn't be happier with the fact that our hosts and team have been able to just get all of this stuff out so incredibly well. So I just really wanted to call them out for that and thank them for their support in this time. And since I spent so much time talking about that, and I want to get you out of here quickly, let me give you a quick update on a few shows that you should check out this week. On Siders, we had Amish Tripathi, really interesting discussion. Both of them dive deep into history. Monty Panesar was on Edges and Sledges, another really cool show. On Advertising is Dead, Tanmay Bhatt showed up. That was a cool episode. Malini Agarwal, also probably better known as Miss Malini, showed up on Absolutely Right. It's just been an absolutely gangbusters week in terms of the kind of guests we've had and the conversations we've had on the network. Please do check some stuff out. And with that, we hope to see you again next week.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.